Good evening, and we have a terrific Cup tie programme for you tonight, with action from these three ties in the fourth round of the FA Cup. From Goodison Park, the Merseyside derby between Everton and Liverpool. And this is what the Cup does for football. A 54,000 crowd, every vantage point taken inside and outside the ground, and a great game to round it all off. And at the other end of the scale, we follow the journey of non-league Enfield to Barnsley. And what a thriller that turns out to be.
Ashford tried to meet it and New hesitated. And can Burton make it? Perhaps Steve King can! Inside of the post!
Well, take my advice, make sure you wait up and see that one. I promise you, you'll not be disappointed. And we also drop in on Middlesbrough against West Bromwich Albion for the action that matters in that one. And with the action, as usual, the news, and here with the headlines, Jim Rosenthal.
John Bond marches on. His new team, Manchester City, thrashes old one Norwich 6-0, but Bond ends up in hospital. Out go Manchester United, beaten by a Trevor Francis goal at Nottingham Forest. There's a shock at Notts County. Peterborough win there 1-0. And Exeter, they hold Leicester at Filbert Street.
But we start with a tie that caused a gasp when it was first pulled out of the hat at the FA headquarters. Everton against Liverpool, and it's a tie that's grown in expectation ever since. Of course, the rivalry between these two great clubs is legendary. And one of the few neutral voices in the shouting today belonged to the commentator Gerald Sinstad, and the pictures are from Granada Television.
Well, Gordon Lee left himself plenty of options in the squad he chose for this game, but in the end the only change he has made is in goal, and that was forced on him. Jim McDonough injured an ankle in training, so Martin Hodge is recalled for the first time since April. He, Kevin Ratcliffe and Imre Varadi are new to derby matches. Liverpool also have one change. Alan Kennedy hurt his knee at Norwich last week, so Harvey Cohen reclaims the left-back spot he last occupied in November. There's just one derby debut on the Liverpool side, that's for Colin Irwin. Clive Thomas makes his appearance to the kind of reception I suppose he must have expected. Remembered on Merseyside for a controversial decision in a semi-final 4 years ago. And so off we go in a Mersey derby for which there are no second prizes. Everton, who play towards the goal on our right in the white shorts. Clear skies and bright sunshine, which will pose problems for us as our cameras look into the sun away to our left for about the first 20 minutes. Game about which all the experts have been very cheery with their predictions, and the bookmakers equally cagey. And a free kick going Liverpool's way. They are the 6-4 favourites with the bookies, but Everton only just shaded at 15-8, and you could have got 2-1 the draw. A word for the Everton bench from Mr. Thomas. Talking to Jim McDonough there. Hodge says, I'll have it. Coming up to his 22nd birthday, Martin Hodge. Push in the back, referee keeps them going, played the advantage. O'Keefe, Berardi going well here, left foot blocked by Souness. First threatening move, and lovely and fluent it was too from Imre Berardi. Clements making sure that he can see beyond the bunch of players on the near post. Ross with the corner. Towards Lyons, but Irwin got it away. Dalglish. Hartford. Al Bailey. Ross. Burst through by McMahon, and he'll keep it in play. Knew the space was there and used it well. And against the upright from Berardi. saw that it would have counted. The referee is calling them back for something on the far side of the field. It's worth having a look at the way that was set up and how well Berardi hammered it. Cohen. Fairclough. Good cross. Kicked away by Hartford. Fairclough again. And a good turn and cross. Oh, that was a good header out by Bailey. Neil's shot, but the real hero there was John Bailey after Fairclough had delivered another lovely centre. And again, a good header to the rescue of Everton, this time from Lyons. Right, long and spinning. Owen's header. Ross, Berardi, he does show lovely control on the ball. Ross was really ballooned too far, but maybe Everton will make something of it. The overhead from Hartford and a clearance from Cohen. Lyons, Hartford, on to Easto, who is onside and has a clear chance. Will it go in? Was it in? It is now. Now Mr. Thomas is taking a long walk towards his linesman, gets the thumbs up, and the goal stands. Not cleared on the line by Neil, so 1-0 to Everton. 17 minutes gone, and Peter Easto gets the opening goal of the game. Well, it's a goal that's been earned by a long period of pressure. Mr. Thomas now having a word with Cohen, telling him ball must be put back where it can be put into play, not tossed away like that to waste time. Easto, the goal scorer, his 13th of the season. Dermot now steps in. Souness unable to make an impression. McMahon. This is great fighting football by Everton. But now stepping over the mark and leaving Neil down, and Mr. Thomas reaching for his notebook to take the name of Steve McMahon. No yellow cards now, of course. On the ball, Lee the first challenge, and then McMahon goes through, leaves his foot out and catches Neil. It was a very reasonable booking. Fairclough couldn't control it. Well won again and intelligently distributed into space by Ratcliffe. Easter. Souness, Kennedy, Fairclough, Ross. Clements, but he had to be brave. Real collision there, but Berardi took it, shakes himself and gets up, head on. Cohen. Dalglish. Oh, a nice turn, and the shot went through the goalkeeper's legs and out for a corner. Kenny Dalglish can scarcely believe that he didn't score. First time he'd really outwitted his man. Header by Neil, away by Wright. Neil, Fairclough. So we're now in the time that Mr. Thomas is adding on as Varady attacks down the right with Cohen coming to cover him and Easto calling for the pass. Played with such confidence and precision. Support from right. On to McMahon. Way. A nice little control chip from Souness that was only just caught by Kennedy. Kennedy finds McDermott well. Fairclough to Dalglish. Better looking football suddenly from Liverpool. Souness. Intercepted by Bailey. Lee for Fairclough, who is onside. Lifts over. Dalglish got ahead to it, but he couldn't direct it towards goal. Suddenly, in this last 2 minutes, Liverpool have found themselves. There were real possibilities there, and the ball with Fairclough after a good build-up. Dalglish jumping, couldn't direct it on target. Thomas checking his watch. He's added on 2 minutes so far. Owen, who's made some good defensive headers. Everton now sensing the interval approaching, feeling no need to show any urgency over the throw. And that is the final moment of the first half, in which Everton have performed with so much credit, taking the lead by a goal to nil, which the scoreboard here credited to Peter Easto, although it bears looking at again during the interval to see whether perhaps it might not have to be debited as an own goal. Everton then a goal in the lead, kicking off in the second half and looking for O'Keefe. Dalglish's injury, incidentally, is a cut that has actually needed stitches. So Liverpool have a great deal to do, and I bet there were some hard words said in their dressing room at half-time. Case to Neil. Bailey has pinched too much ground, and the throw-in will have to be taken again. No time wasting. It's long from Bailey. Thompson and then O'Keefe. Case. Ball went out. No, there was a foul. Case quickly in the action. Neil. Lyons, a good header, but it's come to Case. Over the top, looking for Fairclough, and Hodge. Hardly what you would call a clean or orthodox catch, but ultimately effective. Thompson. Sorting themselves out of a tight situation. Lee. Case jumping, knocking it down for McDermott. Everton just getting bodies in the way, and it still needed a desperate plunge, and now it's getting difficult. And Mr. Thomas is in and sorting them out. Souness looking for somebody. And there is a quite unnecessary altercation there, because Hodge had got that ball, claimed it, and it really needed nobody else to go in at all. Mr. Thomas has got his book out and knows exactly who he wants. Case, and I think Souness as well. We're now in the position of having to make guesses because there are no yellow cards, but I think we can reasonably assume that two players are cautioned here. Souness and Case, and the referee is also going to have Lyons to talk to. Well, now this is a very clear indication, you see, of what's happened since the cards have gone, because we really can't tell who was booked, though we can look again at what happened. Case had the ball at his feet, Hodge there has it in his arms, and suddenly something like a rugby ruck forms. Look how far away Souness comes from, the number 11, running from the edge of the penalty area to get involved in something that really was no concern of his. Bailey, Neal, foot high by O'Keefe, and again a caution. I think the gesture there from Clive Thomas to O'Keefe was an indication that he had warned him before, so now he's taken his down. Ratcliffe, Case, still Case, the booing won't put him off. Eastoe, a nice little touch, and Verratti a good stretch. Away he goes, and tried unselfishly to set it up for Eastoe. Now tries the shot and brings out a save of international class from Ray Clements. Lovely bit of football from Everton in attack, and a fine save from Ray Clements. Verratti tried to give it to Eastoe, should maybe have gone on his own the first time. When it came back to him though, made up his mind, tried the shot, and what a good save. So Ross has another corner for Everton. Outswinger, looking for Lyons, didn't find him. O'Keefe over. Can't get any more into Goodison Park than that. It's 1,000 more than we're here for the Derby game in October. Lee, Kennedy, appeal for handball. Mr. Thomas patted his chest. Cohen. It's a nice calm and authoritative bit of play by Cohen. And that's too hard a pass for Fairclough. Irwin. And here's the second surely now from O'Keefe, or has he pushed it too far wide? Tried to be too deliberate about it, but he's made the goal for Verratti. What a very cool piece of work. Well, I thought that Verratti had wasted that when he pulled it so far wide of Clements, allowed the goalkeeper to get back on his line, but still took his time, and in came Verratti, and in goes the goal. Well, two men playing places in this Everton first team, making and scoring the goal. Eamon O'Keefe and Imre Verratti. The real Wembley taste in the mouths of the Everton fans as Irwin goes up for the header. Lyons hacks away and Case shoots over the top. Jimmy Case, left foot leaning back, ball rising. Header was Owen's, Case in there battling, and there's the shot over the top. And just look at the excitement there. And what a vantage point they've got. Looks a bit precarious. They're seeing the game. Ball just dropped dead. The pitch took a bit of a soaking this morning, and the referee is going for his notebook again, this time to Souness, and so we shall find out whether Souness was booked before or not. The answer is he wasn't, because I'm sure he was then, and so can't have been a previous booking or he would have been off. Berardi pulled back there by Cohen, and Cohen will be yet another name to go into Mr. Thomas's notebook. Cohen had been spoken to 3 or 4 minutes ago when Mr. Thomas played an advantage and didn't actually give the foul. Foul given, and a chance for Liverpool to take another quick free kick. Souness, Cohen, more penetrating this. Ray Kennedy turning, and Case! Now it's 2-1. And for the first time almost, Liverpool were getting the ball into the box quickly. And they've got a quarter of an hour or a bit less to see if they can do it again. Kennedy turned on that. Case was in there bustling, and Hodge couldn't keep it out. 2-1. The Liverpool fans will be asking themselves, and so no doubt will the Everton fans, is this October all over again? Jimmy Case, his second goal only this season. Now the noise is coming largely from the other end, but will it be stifled by Berardi as he breaks again into the box? He wasn't far away. Well, he's a very graceful and athletic mover, Ray Berardi. Hairs in on goal, controls, looks, shoots, just inches over. Souness. McDermott is on the run through. Hodge had to come and claim it. The defenders looked to him and he didn't let them down. Like Lyons, these last 5 minutes will seem long to him. This is his 20th Merseyside derby and he has never been on the winning side. Maybe now Berardi will make certain of it, but he's missed it. Tried to make certain. Was forced wide, and the left foot couldn't find the net. Bursting away, Clements out, forces him wide. He's done the difficult part. He perhaps should have gone on another stride to make sure. Kennedy and Lee not allowed to get the ball because of Ross's tackle. Cohen strides out, plays it early for Kennedy. Hodge is out again and is hit by Kennedy coming through. Hodge had the ball. Souness. Thompson, Irwin, Souness again. We've had a minute over the 45. Case, Bailey. If it hasn't been a game of classic open football, it's been a game we will not forget. Everton have won it by 2 goals to 1.
And Liverpool, the favourites, are out. And there haven't been many times in the last decade when Evertonians have had the last word against their old rivals, but they've certainly had it this weekend. Coming up next, a quick visit to Middlesbrough against West Bromwich Albion. Don't forget that thriller between Barnsley and Enfield, and the latest news as well after this break.
More great.
Welcome back, and our second game tonight is Middlesbrough against West Bromwich Albion. Just a few quick highlights of the game covered by Tyne Tees Television with commentator Roger Thames, and Middlesbrough in the dark strip.
And a few of these free kicks, 10 yards or so, a little bit more perhaps outside the Albion penalty area. That's one's quickly taken. Here's Ian Bailey. He's going to have a go, and it's crept in. Ian Bailey. His first goal for the Borough. What a time to choose. That free kick was taken so quickly by David Armstrong. Played it on, said the referee. And there was Ian Bailey, a speculative effort, but Tony Godden won't be pleased with that at all. And now Jankovic is away through the middle. He could settle it here. He could settle it now. He's down. That's a penalty, surely. It is. And this is a rarity for Middlesbrough. They haven't had a penalty since October 79. David Armstrong was the man who slotted it then. David Armstrong is the man who can put this cup tie safely there. But Godden saved it. What a game this fella's having. Armstrong's kicked a little bit too close, and Godden was across like a cat.
So already tonight we've seen two highly fancied cup sides knocked out in the fourth round, Liverpool and now West Bromwich Albion. And here with the rest of the news is Jim.
Well, what a day it's been for John Bond. His new club, Manchester City, thrashes old one Norwich 6-0, and then he finishes up in the casualty department at the local hospital after falling onto concrete. He was leaping from the director's box to console his son Kevin, the Norwich defender, at the end of the match. Well, happily, X-rays show he's got nothing worse than bruising to his back and ribs. And Bond Senior wasn't the only City casualty. Striker Phil Boyer went to hospital as well with damaged knee ligaments, suffered, ironically, in a collision with Bond Jr. And Boyer likely to be out for a month. And just to complete the day of twists, one of City's goals was scored by Kevin Reeves, the former Norwich striker. Well, while City must really fancy their cup chances now, Manchester United, boasting the best post-war record in the competition, go out. United beaten 1-0 at Nottingham Forest by a Trevor Francis goal. Francis glanced in a Robertson corner and admitted later he didn't know too much about it. But over the Trent, Notts County fell foul of those great cup fighters, Peterborough. In one of the day's upsets, Peterborough won 1-0. Robbie Cook scored his 20th and probably his most important goal this season. And great credit to Exeter, who surprised Leicester, holding them to a 1-1 draw at Filbert Street. John Richards earned Wolves a replay at Watford. Jerry Armstrong had put the home side in front right on half-time. Well, Hull City, bottom of the third division, fought bravely to hold Tottenham till the last 7 minutes at White Hart Lane. And then substitute Gary Brooke, who'd replaced Ozzy Ardiles, fired in a super goal from outside the area. And in the last minute, Steve Archibald followed up a typical piece of close control with Spurs second. Coventry won the Big Midlands derby against Birmingham 3-2, while back in London, Charlton beat Fulham 2-1, and Derek Hales was once again Charlton's match winner. Out go Wimbledon, beaten 2-1 at Wrexham, where Dixie McNeil, whose goals beat the cup holders West Ham, repeated the dose. And it's goodbye to Luton as well. They lost 2-1 at Newcastle. Ipswich admit they were pretty lucky to survive the goalless draw at Shrewsbury, but they're now new cup favourites at 4-1. Brian.
Well, our third game tonight is the exciting clash between Barnsley and non-leaguers Enfield. And that comes up immediately after this break. And welcome back. And now it's time to follow Enfield on their visit to Barnsley. Enfield from the Berger Isthmian League, the last non-league club left in the competition, but already with victories over Hereford and Port Vale from the 4th Division behind them. They knew this was always going to be tougher, though. Barnsley are lying second in the 3rd Division, and there was a 24,000 crowd at Oakwell, the vast majority of them, of course, behind the Yorkshire team. The pictures from Yorkshire Television, and the commentator is Martin Tyler.
Phil Chambers at the head of a Barnsley side that takes into this tie the proud boast of just one defeat in the last 23 games. And here come the Isthmian League side, setting out to sprinkle another dash of romance into the mix of this 100th FA Cup. Enfield today making club history with their first appearance in the 4th round. Derek Parker's scoring touch saw Barnsley safely through the 2nd and 3rd rounds of the competition, but he has fresh memories of the uncertainty of the Cup after being in the Southend side that went out last year to non-league Harlow Town. Barnsley make the 1 enforced change. Martin New returning in goal for the injured Gary Pearce. New, who lost his first team place when he was hurt in the 1st round tie at Chester. Peter Burton is Enfield's top scorer, and by that quirk of fate, he returns today to the ground where he supported Barnsley as a boy and where he played in several schoolboy representative matches. Eddie McCluskey took his players' training this morning and checked on the state of the pitch before announcing an unchanged side from that which beat Port Vale in the replayed 3rd round, with Lee Holmes again the substitute. Today's referee, the familiar figure of Mr. Peter Willis from Meadowfield in County Durham. So Barnsley, second in Division 3, kick-off against the last of the non-league survivors. Barnsley will defend the goal to the left in the first half, and Martin New with the cap on to protect against the sun. Well, there's been some needle about this cup tie already, with remarks attributed to the Enfield camp referring to Barnsley players as camels. Enfield very conscious of the need to be tight in their approach at the start of this game, not to concede an early goal. Evans has come up on the back post. And it was Parker who met it, and it's off the bar. Aylott trying to turn in the rebound. And here's Glavin, but it's out of play. But a let-off in the 5th minute for Enfield. Derek Parker looping the header over Jacobs, who was saved by his crossbar, and then by the retrieving header from Jennings. Leicester. Play in midfield from Barnsley, which is one of their strengths, of course. Leicester going all the way, and good handling from Jacobs. Mike Leicester shimmying through to work a shooting position, as Enfield rather backed off. And safe handling though from John Jacobs. Burton, here's King. Now we've got advance of him. Tackle judged unfair, presumably from the angle of the approach, coming in from behind by Joe Joyce. And Steve King, the postman from Kentish Town. And I understand there's a coach load of fellow postmen have come up and are in the crowd watching today. Enfield leaving the free kick to Barrett, with Howell joining the end of the wall. Barrett hits it! Well, Martin New really had to be at his most alert. It was an almost languid approach by Barrett to the ball, and Howell perhaps peeling away to make the gap. And it was so nearly Enfield taking the lead. Oliver and Burton poised to make their runs from the back, and that was Burton who couldn't quite make it, and Tone who could. And a chance here for Bishop, and Oliver has rolled it in, but it's disallowed. It was King's corner, and it dropped to John Tone, who shot, bobbled through, and New couldn't hold it. Bishop was in quickly here, and was clearly in an offside position as Oliver rolled it into the net. Ashford. Slips Chambers nicely. That's Bishop outside him. This is King. Now Bishop. Promising attack this from Enfield, and Wade in fact had got caught offside. The flag was up. Mr. Willis played the advantage with Barnsley in possession. Barrett. Here's Ashford. King playing it in, and touched on for John Bishop, and again the goal is ruled out. So twice in the first 24 minutes Enfield had the ball in the Barnsley net. Again their expressions were a disappointed look. It was touched down for Bishop here, who was clearly offside. Barrett. Down from Leicester. Now Glavin. Aylott ahead of him. But this is Ronnie Glavin in distinctive style. And he was balked by Howell. It was a yard or so before Glavin had made an inroad into the Enfield penalty area. Banks over the ball, Downs is the Barnsley player in the wall, and it's set up for Chambers. He beat the goalkeeper, but beat the far post as well. Phil Chambers was the player just waiting to the left. He was unattended too, struck it well. Parker has to play it back. The sun beginning to go down, and it seems likely that John Jacobs will have less problems with it in the second half. Parker. Leicester, can Aylott make something of this? Enfield had 5 defenders around him. And the linesman flagging. For Jacobs taking the ball outside the area as he cleared it. So serious problem for Enfield inside the last couple of minutes of this first half. Downs has again joined the wall. Wall that has 6 Enfield players trying to cover that near post. And it's chipped against the post, and Aylott with the simplest of tasks. And in the final minute of this first half, really against the general run of play, Enfield are punished for the slip by John Jacobs in conceding that free kick. Glavin hitting the post, and it rebounded kindly for Aylott. So Barnsley with more than a smattering of relief, I would think, in the cheering from their supporters. Here's Jennings. Now Bishop. King. Oliver going in. Enfield nearly manufacturing a quick reply. Steve King getting in a telling cross. And it was Steve Oliver's header that went straight in the end to Martin New. Positive move. But here's Bishop. Nice turn from him. King to his left. Jennings is darting through the middle to join Burton. And can Jennings reach it? Perhaps Burton can. Bishop going in. Burton again and again. It needs Leicester to clear the penalty area. Ashford. Foul by Banks. Indirect free kick. But when Enfield get at Barnsley's back 4, which they continue to do, they really do look as though this game is not out of their grasp yet. Ashford. Perhaps an opportunity here for Barnsley to break forward into space, and here's Glavin taking on Jennings, who timed the challenge beautifully, but Aylott collects. The linesman is flagging for the ball having gone out of play, and Jacobs, well, it would be churlish to deny him the catch. Well, I think if the referee had spotted the linesman away to the far side, he would have blown his whistle. But play was still technically going on. And 5'6" or nothing. John Jacobs timed his approach beautifully. Leicester. Here's Glavin. Now Downs. Leicester in space and he plays it in short, and it's whipped in towards Aylott. Well, he could have put it beyond out there, and in all honesty should have done. Bobby Downs, skill as a crosser, brought into evidence again, and Trevor Aylott, unmarked beyond the far post, should have scored. Aylott, that's Parker! And the flag is up and it's been disallowed. So Enfield breathe again. As Aylott flicked it on, Parker hooked it in and Mike Lester had gone offside. Downs. Now Leicester. Pressured into the area by Ashford. Here's Oliver. Bishop ahead of him. Holmes trying to stay onside. Ashford trying to meet it, and New hesitated. And can Burton make it? Perhaps Steve King can! Inside of the post! And they will come no closer. It was John Bishop who curled it in. Ashford caused problems with his run, and it came all the way through to Burton, and this was the chance that he had. A brave stop by New, and then Steve King thundered it in low, past the goalkeeper, inside of the post and back into the goalkeeper's arms. Here's Barrett. 2 minutes left on the watch. Leicester can't keep it in. Now Enfield will be ruining that moment just before half-time. Perhaps Oliver can counter it now. And it's in! And Burton has equalised! And they're off the bench. And would you believe such scenes? With a minute and a half remaining, the Enfield supporters, who must have believed it was never going to happen for them. And Steve Oliver crossed it in. Peter Burton got a touch. And it dropped past Martin New. Steve Oliver doing so well to get the cross in. And that was Burton's touch, and he could hardly believe it when it dropped into the back of the net. So what Barnsley did in the last moments of the first half, Enfield have copied. No fluke, I can assure you of that. There's Evans, Parker, and Jacobs, to the biggest sigh of relief from the Enfield supporters behind his goal. Barnsley have a free kick, 15 seconds of injury time played. Jacobs. Time now on his side. Ronnie Howell, the substitute, ran onto the field when the ball went into the net, and now they're off the bench now. And Peter Burton, the Yorkshireman, who hardly had a kick, to be honest, throughout the game, wears a smile that lights up Oakwell. His header, a minute and a half from time, has earned Enfield a totally deserved replay here against the side that lies second in the third division. Trevor Aylott, who have put Barnsley in front on the stroke of half-time, and it seemed for so long that that would be the winner. So now it's down to Enfield on Tuesday night, and Enfield brought the replay tickets here with them, such was their confidence. And what a task now awaits Barnsley, who certainly won't relish going to a ground where Hereford United and Port Vale have already perished.
Well, a magnificent performance by Enfield, and the Barnsley manager Norman Hunter was right when he said afterwards, we're the luckiest side to be left in the cup. Enfield deserved to win it. We leave you tonight, what else, with Enfield, who've grabbed the headlines again with their draw at Barnsley. And even in Yorkshire tonight, they're saying Enfield could so easily have won it. Good night.
Holmes trying to stay onside. Ashford trying to meet it, and New hesitated. And can Burton make it? Perhaps Steve King can! Inside of the post! Perhaps Oliver can counter it now. And it's in! And Burton has equalised!